Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tales of House Grimm. Once more, we lay our scene in Westeros, in the Riverlands, at Adder's Rest, the family home of House Grimm. 2 months have passed, or so, more or less, since they hosted the wedding of Houses Hart and Manning. And a few days ago, they had a brief visit from the heir of their liege lord, that would be Edmure Tully, who asked them to look into a small matter, a brewing conflict between the houses Dolliver and Tullison, and asked if they could discreetly de-escalate the matter. And his concerns are that it would have wider political implications if the conflict was to erupt. So, the family members who are not otherwise occupied have gathered, presumably in a council chamber, to discuss and lay out their plans on how to proceed in this matter. Have you particularly invited any of the other members of your family council, of your household council, to attend?
No, I think we'll just keep this among the immediate family, as it were.
Okay.
For the time being. So Rylan is going to sit. He has one leg hooped over the high chair as he sits there. He's currently cleaning his fingers with a knife. He's cleaning his fingernails. And he'll say, "So, I feel like venison. Does anyone else feel like venison?"
No, I feel like an old man in a robe.
Desmond touches his nephew. No, you feel like nephew. You don't feel like venison.
Aha. So, Maester, my knowledge is out of date at best. House Tullison and what was the name of the other one? That's how much of an impression they've left me.
He's going to start scratching his chin while Anthony desperately tries to open the stupid Google Docs. That's how seldom I open this thing. Is that the right one?
Oh, my brother that has the early onset senility.
Fucking early. What do you mean early?
Yes, he goes, wait a second, no. Correct timed onset senility.
What's the folder called?
I just have it under my character name.
Yeah, I don't.
I'll get you a link.
Yeah.
So,
There's too much shit in my fucking Google Drive.
Well, we're waiting for him to get that. So, just out of curiosity, how do you want to de-escalate this? I say we get the two biggest troublemakers from either side, throw them in a room with a single knife, call it a day, then brick up the doorway.
As tempting as that would be, we have to first identify why it is the tensions have surfaced. I mean, I don't know. Generally speaking, it's a reason for this.
I think I found it.
Oh, okay.
Continue.
Generally speaking, there's a reason for this. Is one house, do they want something from the other? Has one of them fallen on hard financial times? Swords are only drawn or rattled when it is people have a reason to draw and rattle them.
By the way, apparently my access to my own page has been changed.
Is it working or not?
It's saying I no longer have access. I can view it, but that's about it.
Well,
let's see. House Tullison. And
little Maggie comes in and sits at the table.
Whose child is this again?
This is Lily's child. So your niece.
Ew, it's Frey. Fired it with fire.
Yeah, House Dolver and House Tullison.
Not the niece. She's gonna start asking me about fucking. You drink too much and you hit me when you're drunk.
Rylan kind of he continues to pick his nails while he's sitting there, but he unless the child interposes itself, he's not going to like shoo it or make an issue of the child being there. But he's going to say, "So, Why is it then, if we were to make an educated guess, Uncle, not Uncle, he will say Maester, rather, Maester, would House Dolba have any interest in House Tullison?
Long-standing grievance. They've
How
been.
long standing?
Let me see. Takes out sheaf of papers.
I mean, is it possible that we could just get them to both stand to a trial by combat? Be like, look, this shit's gonna drop down right now.
Considering the recent history of those ridiculous things, they never work.
They're the king's law, Maester. The king's law is the king's law. The nonchalant shrug of the shoulders.
First of all, it's a legitimate strategy for those of you who practice combat, so shut up.
It's a
I happen
way.
to be a
It's a
phenomenal
way for the idiot brute who happens to be wielding the biggest sword to try and make himself look righteous. Any more? If I was allowed to go into a trial by combat with a trebuchet, I would win every battle.
not true at all. The range alone. If you're both in a room, that's a useless weapon.
Not
So-
if I get it to drop on top of you.
So, do we know what started the conflict between House Dolba and House Tullison?
He's flicking through his notes still while Anthony's desperately trying to find something in here that actually says where the fuck the problem came from.
I mean, if we're empowered by our Lord to met out some justice and calm some fuckers down, I'd say maybe a hostage exchange and I don't know, something.
Reasonably speaking, a hostage exchange is probably the best course of action. Maybe a son for a son.
I mean, if you want, we could keep them too.
We could.
I don't really want to because
Hmm. Do you have something to add, Maester?
Oh, voice in our heads.
Hmm?
I'm talking to you, Nathan.
Yes.
Lord Tullison, whose side did he fight on at the Trident?
The previous Lord Tullison fought for the unsurprisingly alongside the Tullys.
No, I mean Lord Stirl Tullison. Was he for the traitors or the loyalists?
He declared with the Tullys, which means for the Starks and the Baratheons.
Ah, right. In that case, I have legitimately no idea what would have caused this strife, apart from the usual idiocy.
It's entirely possible it was just, and in the mists of time, my ancestor stepped on your ancestor's foot. These things do.
I mean,
Yeah,
Hatfields and McCoys, man, over a pig.
Yeah, that sounds annoyingly likely.
I would say what they should do is have something to. Okay, there are like two options in my most humble opinion. One, you give them a third enemy that they don't have to fight. Fuck you too. But anyway, my most humble opinion is this: that you either give them a third enemy to fight, right, or you get them to just air grievances and sort of blow out all the bad air.
Apart from trying to instill flatulence in nobles, have you any better ideas?
I'm just saying these are the two that would be long-term successful.
Both of
Hostage
you.
situation works-ish.
What about no? Ryland leaves.
Maggie puts a hand up.
Yes, little one.
Fucking what?
I'm trying to understand. Does swapping hostages, does that make people less angry then?
No,
it just
not
makes
at
them
all.
less likely to stab each other, little one.
Yes.
Ryland will be the only decent human being in the room, ironically. And he will say, no. Evan.
He will say
Yeah.
no, Evan.
Yeah.
Sorry, somebody was talking to me. But he will say, not necessarily. But what it does mean is that if each side has something the other side treasures, then they're less likely to come to blows with one another.
But people can be idiots, and once one mistake happens, then you get pushed farther down the road because then one thing further leads to another. As I said, that's a stopgap measure. That's a quick fix to a solution. I maintain give them both something that they can fight against, or get them to simply blow out all the bad air. Those are both messy solutions, but ultimately, I think those are long-term solutions. I mean, we can be that third enemy that they have to fight against, or we can just I don't know.
That would get us murderized.
No, it wouldn't. I'm far. Look, we're all far too pretty to get murdered like that. So what
Have
we
you
could
looked
do
in
is
the mirror in the last 30 years?
I look at the mirror. I check my face in the mirror every day. Everything is still attached.
Yes, my fine stitchwork.
Anyway, so I mean, the other option would be we just start rounding up bandits in our country, just dump them onto theirs. I am in no way. Okay, no, I'm mostly not serious. It would also make my day job a lot easier, though.
I would actually think, gentlemen, that we're going to do a different solution. What, Nathan? What in-game month is it?
I don't know. Why?
Can I set the month then?
What? Why is it relevant?
Because if it is basically he's going to suggest that we host a spring fair and invite both sides to the fair.
Yeah, the concept of spring fair is a bit weird in Westeros because the seasons are strange.
You get what I mean. Basically, just we're going to have a fair and invite people to the fair.
It's like basically either a harvest festival, like a festival of planting, or something.
I get what you say. You could hold some kind of seasonally appropriate festival / fair / thing.
Yeah.
So it's like host a tournament, but for small folk.
Essentially, it's something that's not on the same scale as a tournament, but is much more, kind of just the region. So the lords of the local area being invited, basically.
Ooh, a local hoedown. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Voice in my head. How long ago was Aegon the Third on the throne?
Use the wiki.
Evan, you're the expert in this shit.
Which one was Aegon the Third?
He was the third one called Aegon.
That's not fucking helpful, Anthony.
I know, but
I mean, technically it is.
Aegon the Third, also known as Aegon the Younger or Aegon the Dragonbane. Like Harry King. Succeeded his uncle at the end of the Dance of the Dragons. So you look.
Oh shit! He's been dead for 100+ years.
What?
Bugger.
Raiden died in 157 AD. AC.
Yeah, and it's currently about 190 something. So yes,
Right.
It's currently about 290 something rather.
Yeah, because the issue is there isn't a great deal we could do.
I mean, okay. Well, as I said, making them work together and against another foe, we could hold a fair, and what you do is you say like you have some sort of competition, but the teams will choose, right? And they're all random, we swears. And then randomly, those two get stuck together. And you just have to have a prize that they want.
Because one house worships the old gods, and one house worships the new.
Well, it's clear that we need to destroy the new god worshippers.
I worship for lore.
Yes, but you're weird and you've been corrupted by foreign heathens.
Yes, and we pray for you every night.
I actually really don't, but okay.
Neither do I pray for you.
Mackie puts a hand up.
Yes, child.
What child?
Who's Milor?
Don't worry about it.
You know what?
Heathen.
You know what? Here's what the maester is going to do. He's going to go and get. He's going to walk over, pick up a candle, put it on the table. He's going to say,
Just
"Now, my dear, touch the flame.
hand resting
Go
on
on.
his mace.
Go on,
Stop, Anthony.
just with the tips of your finger.
No,
Go on.
no,
Just a
don't
moment.
don't listen to the bad man.
Nathan, he's going to crouch down if necessary
Oh, God.
and encourage her just to
Stop
tap the flame.
it. No,
Meister,
but
why?
stand up.
Meister, why are you
No,
a bad man?
I'm not apologizing.
Just do it, child.
Don't. Search your feelings. You know it to be true. Don't do it.
That's quite enough.
No, I'm educating the girl. That's my job.
With
you're
what
not.
on fucking Burns? No.
Go on.
No. No. I'm gonna walk over and I'm gonna like shield her and be like, "You're making me care about children. This is how bad you push me."
You have a child.
I do. That's a care, not create. There's a difference.
R'hllor is a god from the other side of the narrow sea. Little one.
All's God.
Many people worship him.
Yep.
Does that mean there's 8 gods?
No. That's just the old God's child.
You actually follow the old gods?
Yes, I do. My character's very religious in that regard.
Oh, right. Well, then, there you go.
Yeah. then you've got the drowned god. Then you've got
No.
all the other
No.
gods.
Stop speaking such nonsense. You're gonna corrupt her poor child mind.
Hold up here. He's going like point at you in a very old man way. I try to educate this girl on the dangers of heathen gods, and you stop me.
You were gonna burn
And now
her
you're
head.
talking about corrupting her. Make up your damn mind.
You're gonna burn her head, you lunatic.
What?
If it helps,
Pain is an excellent motivator.
if it helps, gentlemen, she's a Frey, which means she's going to burn in hell eventually anyway. I didn't say that in character because I have no idea what's going to happen, but it's true.
I'm just.
Well, no, you can just assume that all Freys are scum, and therefore they're all going to burn anyway.
Everyone who has met Lord Walder would agree, yes.
Yes.
Stop being so cruel to the cinnamon bun.
But no, but Rylan will stand from where he's been sitting, and he'll hear the little shink as he puts the knife back in his sheath, and he'll say, "Yes, gentlemen, or yes, I think that we shall hold a fair. We shall invite both sides, and we shall see what happens. If they attempt to break our hospitality under our roof, then that is something we can deal with. And in the meantime, it will give us the ability to understand their issues between one another and allow us to possibly resolve them. I'm quite happy to pay for this fare out of my own pocket without having to involve the house finances."
I mean, if anything, we can even start a new tradition of having a fair at about this time of the year. You know, maybe we can even start bringing us in more finances.
An excellent idea.
I mean,
Maggie raises a hand.
Yes, little one.
Do people who are getting ready for war normally go to fairs?
probably not. But I mean, we can.
No.
Shut up.
The maester is going to walk over to a door, open the door, and scream, "Someone fetch me wine!"
He will. Rylan will walk over and he'll tussle Maggie's hair. So he'll put his hand on her head for a few moments and he'll say, "No, little one, they don't. However, people who are seeking allies when it comes time to go to war will oftentimes go to the home of their will oftentimes go to the home of that person in order to try and win them to their side.
I mean, an easy thing to do would be you tell each side that we're potentially interested in supporting them should things go to blow, and we'd like to talk to them about it, and just send some people to the fair.
So,
and then we kill them both.
We have a plan. I'll write a short letter to each lord in question this evening in order to invite them personally to such festivities, and we will see if we can have it done and arranged before the next full moon. Is this agreeable to all?
Yeah. We need to talk to the small folk and make sure that they have crafts and goods capable of being sold, which I'm sure they'll be happy about.
In general, the small folk do enjoy the opportunity to sell their goods and present their livestock. How about this?
Man, we could do a livestock auction. Those are pretty fun.
Also, tell the small folk. Nathan, what is a very generous amount of money for the small folk?
Good question.
A couple of silver, a couple of silver pennies, probably.
I'd have to look at the book to get some idea. It's been a while, but I assume you could specify that amount.
Well, but basically, yeah. From what I remember, when Lord Tywin was like, he asked the question, how much to have one of our common soldiers risk their lives to take on the Hound? I think the amount given was 30 silver stags would make a soldier brave enough to try and fight the Hound.
Yeah, that would be. Here we are. Total goods and services.
No, I would probably go somewhere in the ballpark of 50 silver stags.
Well, to give something, a mule is 12 silver stags.
Okay.
So, give you a reference point. A courtier's garb can be anything from 10 to 100. The Meister's garb is worth 4 silver stags. Yeah. Or a peasant's set of clothing is 1 silver stag, apparently.
So yeah, Ryland is going basically. He's, as I said, he's going to pay for this out of his own pocket because he is wealthy, so he can afford to. He's going to just basically say as something to be a diversion, particularly for the peasants, because peasants, are allowed to do this. We're going to stage an archery contest, and the prize will be 50 silver stags.
Well, we can do a few things. We can do like a contest I've heard is getting muddy pigs into pens, and you can have a baking contest, and
When did this become the British Bake Off?
It's like one fucking baking thing, man. Like serious. Hey, just give the small folk plenty of things. So like I said, this could just turn into a financial windfall for us if things go well. That may meant to lie.
Okay. Right. Well, if that's a plan, we'll move on. Okay. Your character certainly instructions. You've got a strange echo. Your characters give instructions and your people about announcing and organising the fair. You can set it arrange various appropriate games and contests for the small folk. I think if I ask for who's ever going to be mostly responsible for it to make an appropriate role, probably stewardship, unless we come up with something better.
I can stewardship.
How well you can logisticize the fair.
Cool. It's D6 as the system uses again, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we use the tournament. Well, they've got mechanics for starter tournament, so we can use that. Yeah, here we are. Once you host a tournament, you test status to see what sorts of knights and sponsors you attract. See chapter 6.
Whoops, those are D10. I made a slight mistake there.
So yeah, it's the ability dice added that you drop the lowest. So I have to find the tournament hosting rules.
I don't think there's a great deal I can do in this situation. I'm going to be in my tower if anyone needs me.
Those tournaments. Here we are. A local tournament costs 2 wealth points to sponsor and 2 wealth as a prize. Or you can offer the hand of a lesser daughter as the prize if desired. That would attract no more. Well, that's big enough for what you're doing. That includes archery contest.
I mean, in theory, we could just do a minor tournament. Like, that's fine.
I'll do it as a coloured skid on a local tournament.
Cool.
So, that is a quite high cost. That's 2 points of wealth off the house build.
That's fine.
You gain stuff from it anyway. Okay. Right.
I have my stewardship roll.
I'm trying to
for
find.
you.
Okay, go on then. What is it?
It is 16.
Okay, I'm just trying to find the stuff in the book about how this works. Where did you roll it? In Dublin? I'm not seeing.
In Dublin. I rolled it in the ST rolls. I can re-roll it in the actual rolls.
I mean, yeah, it's for that. That was fine. Yeah, roll in something else for future, but that's fine.
I'm so used to rolling in the ST roll section. I'm just like,
yeah, the rulebook's been a bit rubbish. I'm not really explaining it. I'm just going to try the PDF. If I can't find it, we'll just move on anyway. Okay, so you're explicitly inviting those 2 houses. Do you want to invite anyone else in particular?
I mean, yeah.
He's particularly for hosting a minor tournament. Yeah, what he'll do is I'm going to specifically invite them by name. It would be my personal honor to host you. Kind of, and then go, and then everyone else in the local area will get an invite, but it's going to be much less personalized, if you get me.
Okay.
I would still maintain, tell them that you're inviting them because you're sympathetic to their plight, but you just want to talk to them a bit, which would also mean you could talk to them each privately and say, hey, why do you hate these people to death?
Yeah, that's valid.
And then also you can be like, well, that's a dumb reason, and now you're never going to leave this tower alive.
I thought I wasn't allowed to start practicing my diabolical works.
No, you're allowed to do diabolical laughs. You're not allowed to do diabolical work.
Damn.
There we are, tournaments.
Yeah, and I don't know, we can call it like a fish festival or something. I don't know, crab festival.
Okay. Right, let me have a quick think. So you got a 16.
Might I recommend something like the Festival of Fish and Grains?
Okay.
The Festival of Fish and Chips.
That would be nice. I could do it.
Okay, so let me just think this. Okay, so you make arrangements for the fair to happen, as I say, in the turn of the moon's time. I assume it's going to be on your lands, possibly somewhere over near your port. So you can
Yes, basically, it'll probably end up being, we'll set aside an area so people can come with their tents and their pavilions and such, and we'll set up an area for the archery contest, the melee, and the joust, because those are the three things you have at tournaments anyway.
Well, I'm happy for if you want to make it a fair. I'm happy for it to be a fair. That's fine. I'll just use the tournaments as a.
No, I think that we'll make it a tournament because nobles are more likely to come to a tournament than they are to come to a fair.
Yeah.
So if it's gonna cost us the same anyway, let's just do the tournament because it'll mean that they're more than likely to show up.
Okay. Fine. Okay.
I was looking forward to pig wrangling, but all right.
You can still have a common entertainment.
I mean, I suppose. And the same thing.
You will be in charge of the commoner entertainment. There we go.
I didn't want that at all. You know how me and people mix.
Okay. Let me think. Okay. Right, you do get responses. You are advised there will at least be representatives from the two houses will be in attendance. Lord Harold Dover says he will send one or more of his sons. He's not really up for travelling.
Okay. I sense, however, we will get the young lord of the other house because he is a young man, thirsty to prove himself.
Yes.
Is that code for he's an rambunctious idiot?
Yes.
Oh man, one of my people.
Who else is?
You're not young, brother.
Who else might be in attendance? The Freys are going to be represented by Sir Cleos Frey, who you've met previously, who was a close friend of Lily's husband. We'll assume there's some other wandering hedge knights and others in attendance. Which I don't need to find them all. The Blackwoods would also send at least a minor member of the family. Would we have anyone from the Tullys? Do you particularly want anyone from the Tullys to be there?
Probably better if they're not, or if they do, they send someone very minor, just a house representative to hold the flag, basically, because they asked us to deal with the situation. You bet Edmure then.
Yeah.
One minor person who, if anything happened to him, nobody would shed a tear. I like the idea of the camera panning over and Edmure sitting in the corner. Oh yeah, you were here. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot you were in the room. You have a tendency to do that to people.
Okay. No member of the Tully family proper attends, but they do. Some of the some knights who reside with the Tullys do attend in a personal capacity.
Oh, since we're trying to be nice with the Starks, we could send a letter to Sir Eddard or Lord Eddard and say if he wants to send any of his sons to participate, we'd be glad to have them. I'm sure he'll turn us down, but that's okay.
See that? Yes, it's too far for the Starks to travel. They're not really big on tournaments in the same way. And Rob is about 10 at this point, so
I was hoping to push him down a flight of stairs.
Okay, so right, let me just think how we're going to run this. Okay, so the day of the fair comes round. The field has been arranged. The guests are assembled. There seems to be general merriment. The traders are doing well. There's people. I think people go out selling cockles and other mussels and other delicacies of the sea. And yes, the cobblers are happy with their small folk games of trying to catch the greasy pig and climb the greasy pole to get the precious bit of meat at the top. And third,
Somehow everything involves grease when it comes to the peasants.
there's if we go with your idea of spring harvest, because I mean they still have seasonal planting, even this
Weirdly enough.
even this strange weather system. So yeah, we'll say it's a spring harvest. So there's a maypole, which some of the more faithful people might be giving dirty looks at. Okay. Okay, do you want anything particular, or should I just skip to having a meaningful conversation with the NPCs that you want to speak to?
Ryland will walk out of the pavilion that his house is kind of the pavilion that's going to overlook the seats for the jousting, and or that's right next to it rather. And he's dressed in finely articulated black plate. He very rarely wears plate metal because it weighs you down. But he's dressed in it today, so it's black plate with a green serpent decorated on the chest.
Actually, nephew, I have a very fancy suit of armor if you'd like it.
No, it's fine. He does have a suit of plate mail. He just doesn't wear it very often.
Yeah, no, so do I. I never wear it either.
This is one of those occasions where we wear the plate mail.
I still wear my chain. Fuck that
valid.
shit.
But he has his helmet, which is made to look like a hissing viper under his arm. And he'll walk up on a small kind of platform, and he will say, "My lords, my ladies, I would like to be the first to welcome you properly and officially to this spring tournament being held by the benefices of House Grimm. Some of you know me, some of you do not. My name is Lord Ryland Grimm. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. We would invite you all to please, as our guests, intake of our hospitality, enjoy our food and comfort, and express with me, as I'm sure you all will, the joys that exist as spring turns to summer. Let us hope it will be a long summer filled with joys. Thank you, my lords and ladies." And he will offer a small kind of head bow.
Okay. There's general cheers, applause. Seems like a positive response. Just to pan the camera out for a moment, though, some people are noticing that you've got the great mass of commoners. Most of your commoners, I think, are of First Men descent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're all mixed, but yours are more First Men than, say, elsewhere, a bit like the Northerners. And you've got all the nobles. And standing in the middle, of course, you've got Lord Ryland, striking a very distinctive figure with his shockingly outlandish, some would say Targaryen hair and purple eyes. Definitely the same the marks the Targaryens is above other men, and just surrounded by the crowd of people in the usual browns. It's quite striking.
Mm.
And then the arrows began to fly.
Okay, so are you looking to collar the people that you want to speak to as a group, or do you want to have like one-on-ones with them?
Actually, I think what we're going to do is, so the first day of the tournament is going to be, as you said, this is the time when the mummers are going to dance around. It's going to be the day of jesters, where people walk around and mingle with each other, etc. That kind of vibe. Because there's going to be no officially planned events today. They're probably going to start tomorrow. What Ryland is going to do is he's going to basically go back to his tent with a couple of his own household knights and the other family in tow, and we're going to see who comes to us first.
Okay.
Basically, the logic being is he is curious to see who will make the first move in the dance that we're currently dancing, essentially.
Okay. I'm going to need a moment to prep this because obviously I didn't envisage this course of action, and neither did the published scenario. Right. Okay. The murmurs and stuff are being, I suppose, de facto managed by Wise Boris, who is vaguely wandering around and clearly he's outperforming the murmurs if he bothers to try and as entertainers.
I'm going to say that myself and Desmond are probably playing cards. Just like, kind of a card or a dice game. Just killing the time.
Yep. You got any twos?
Go fish.
Right. Okay. Well, at some point, a fellow will drop by to pay his respects. That's his coat of arms on the shield. I'll just get the colours. It's red. It's red on the bottom and blue at the top. And carrying the shield is this fellow.
He appears jolly.
Yes, young adult in age. So yeah, looks quite open. Nice friendly expression. Good day, sirs. Honoured to meet you and thank you for hosting. I want to come by and pay my respects.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well, sir.
Lord Dunstan, Tullison.
Ah, yes, Lord Dunstan. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. He eyes the boy kind of up and down. Can I make some kind of roll in order to see if he feels like if his attitude is genuine or if he's putting it on? There's a very specific reason I ask.
You can make the roll. I'll give the answer. You can make the roll now. I'll give the answer after a bit of a conversation because you need a little more to go on.
Yeah. Okay.
Always make the roll. Ready?
Cool. I will do that. So that's going to be 6. For that. So. Oh, sorry. Just hang on. I have to collect my food. I'll be back in just a second.
Nathan?
Yes.
This is a good question. If a blacksmith were asked to supply a dozen arrows with twisted arrow points, so they've been made into a sort of spiral, and with small pieces of shaped iron, very, very thin and in the approximate shape of fletchings for arrows, along with a small hinging mechanism and a small, very thin bar of iron, about half the length of the arrow shaft.
Mm-hmm.
Would they find that an odd thing for the Maester to request?
Yes.
Would they, in that case, be liable to, I don't know, mention it to people? I'm basically wondering if news of this odd little request from the Maester would get to my brother or no.
Not particularly, because you wouldn't have a reason to, unless he suspected something really strange. Okay, the Master's making us some strange invention. Fine, okay. I might gossip about it to my other blacksmith friends, I guess, down the tavern, but I'm not going to go and tell the High Lord unless it then becomes a murder weapon.
Oh no, I wasn't thinking like him going personally. I thought in terms of, since Caleb's like saying he wants to interact with some of the lowborn people with like the general conversation of, did you hear the weird thing that blacksmith over there had to make? But if you say that not particularly, that's fine.
I mean, I really.
In that case, I shall also require roughly 30 foot of fine wire and some small lead weights.
Okay. I mean, obviously,
Can't end well.
the lower level of blacksmiths, some of that stuff's a bit complicated. You'll have at least a blacksmith at your castle who could certainly do that. If you,
Oh yeah. Okay then. I am working on a project for war. So
well, do stick this stuff in the document.
yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. Oh, are we there? Are we all back?
Yes, I'm back. Sorry about that. I just had to collect my food.
Did you do the roll?
I'm just going to do that now. I rolled d10s again because my brain is just a little bit elsewhere. But
so you may have to bear with it a little bit because I thought you were going to visit the Dolvers, so they were the characters that I preloaded. But okay, yes.
I will just do the roll now. Sorry, just one moment. But he will look at the younger man, and he will say that total of 15 total.
Okay, well we'll chat for a bit. I'll give you some.
Cool. He will Lord Ryan will smile and he will say, I'm grateful that you managed to come all this way, my lord. May I offer you wine, perhaps?
Oh, thank you. So, it's pleasure to be here. Nice to be by the sea for a change.
Yes.
Air's fresher out this way.
Oh, where are my terrible manners? Allow me to introduce my uncle, Sir Desmond Grimm, and our maester, Mr. Julius.
The maester isn't there. He's in his tower.
Oh,
okay.
I did say that earlier. That's why
fine. It's your choice. Okay, you're welcome to be there. Fine. Okay.
Yeah. But basically, because there isn't really much he can do in these situations.
You will be summoned down tomorrow when it comes to the actual time for things like jousting, where people can get injured, etc.
All right.
Well, what your job is to advise the Lord. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
My lord doesn't seem to need much advising these days.
It's the lords that don't think they need advice, the ones that need it the most.
Not when it comes to my maester. I'm shit at my job, it seems.
Well, someone said it out loud.
So, well, pleasure to meet you both. My condolences on your father.
Thank you. So, I'm curious, my lord. What brings you to our humble stretch of countryside? Is it indeed just the concept of the joust?
Oh, I'm most looking forward to it. This will be my first tournament.
Indeed. So, how fare things in your own lands?
Takes a moment. Well, no, it's not as we have some trouble with mountain clans. You know the sort they're more common in the east, around the area. But we have a few of them in the craggy mountains in my lands. Savages, but it seems someone's taken to armor them with proper weapons.
Castle forged steel in the hands of the barbarians is often troubling.
Yes, and they've definitely stepped up their raids. It's amazing. You put a sword in a man's hand where he's only ever held a stone club, and he suddenly becomes a lot more heroic. So, I'm not seeking conflict, but I feel I've been left with very little option.
What proof do you have of House Tullison's involvement, however, my Lord Dolva?
He pulls out a short sword and tosses it on the table and points to it. This blade was taken from one of the raiders. I had it shown to my master smith. He recognises the maker's mark. It belongs to a smith of Fairmarket. That's a town in the area. And when we pressed the smith, the lot was sold to Lord Dover a year ago.
And yet, my Lord Tullison, it is quite simple for swords to be mislaid, stolen, or misappropriated.
Are you familiar with Lord Dover's reputation?
What's he? No.
He's not one to mislay the slightest turnip. Well, unless you want to count the turnips, as they're called, from the last war. I've sent letters, Ravens. I've sent many letters to Lord Dover. None of them are properly returned. I've sent messages of parley and peace and good wishes. I get nothing back but threats.
You asked if I knew of this man's reputation. The answer is that I don't. He will say very casually.
They call him the Vulture of Dover. A vulture, a bird that picks over the dead carcasses for meat. His family have always been misers. I think they called his father the Penny Pinch. Or some such. When the stories go that both sides sent people to visit him during the rebellion, asking for troops, and he sent them all away, claiming he had no combat worthy men. And then when Lord Tywin raised his banners to march on King's Landing, Lord Dover joined him with some 300 foot. Claims he found them hidden away, lost behind some old turnips.
Those must have been some rather impressive turnips.
And hence why his household troops still bear that name. So you see, he is a man who is. He is an old man who is predisposed to being a miser and following the path of personal power. I'm sure we all know old men of that persuasion.
It could be said, my lord. But yes, if that is indeed the case, then why do you not petition? Why do you not petition the Lord Tullys in order to deal with this grievance if they are indeed preparing to arm men against you for battle?
I have done so already. I've met with Edmure, but and to set out this proof, such as it is. But I'm sure they would come to my defence if open conflict was to ensue. But the matter is delicate, and common troops would struggle in our crags, unused to the ground. If it came to direct conflict, I've no doubt the Tullys would stand with us, but I gather they do not want. They are keen to avoid that. I can see why.
Indeed.
I don't want war, but I've made my plea to peace, and may they fall on deaf ears. So it seems I have little choice.
I see. Allow me then to ask, my lord, in what way may House Grimm be of assistance?
He thinks a moment. If it comes to war, as I fear it seems to be going that way, I will need all the allies I can muster. The Dolvers do not have a great force in and of themselves, but they have family, extended family, that would be difficult.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It was the Dolva who had links to the Lannisters, wasn't it?
Lord Dolver is married to a Lannister.
Yeah. Interesting. I thank you for your time. In that case, Lord Tullison, he will extend his hand.
Oh, thank you. I accept the handshake. Well, it's not actually a reasonably strong, firm handshake. Okay, based on the role you made earlier, as far as you can tell, he is being pretty genuine. There's no great. He's not. Doesn't seem deceptive.
The reason I ask is because, based on what was written in my own thing, I think I killed his father in combat with a trident, and I'm trying to gauge if he knows that or not. Basically,
there is no hint of any strong emotion towards you. So your reasonable assumption would be he does not know that.
Lovely. I need to just tip out for 2 seconds because I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be back in a little bit.
Okay.
Nathan?
Yes?
What do I know about the Maester of House Dolver?
You know what's in the brief. Essentially, I pre-rolled it effectively.
There's nothing in the brief for House Dolver's Maester. It just says his name.
Nothing else at all? Okay. I'll give you a roll now then. Okay. So roll whatever thing you can argue is relevant. Let me go with that.
Right, hold on. Now I have to try and find the bloody character sheet. Give me a second.
Caleb, do you want to do anything?
I don't really have much I think I can do here. I can hit people, and I can steal from people. And I can sneak by people. Yeah, also, I'm kind of tired, so I'm just keeping it to myself.
I'm working on a very flimsy theory. If it doesn't work out, then I can't actually contribute anything. So,
or if it doesn't work out, we can always get a new maester. It's not a problem.
Fuck you too.
Love you too, brother.
Okay, would this be? I'm not sure what skill would be appropriate here.
Knowledge.
Okay. Do education or research specializations apply in any way?
Not particular. Oh, go on, you can go on counter education.
Okay, so that's one bonus. So I believe I'm rolling 5, keep 4.
Yep.
Give me a second. So it's okay. Okay. Oh, motherfucker. That's typical of my dice rolls, that is.
Okay.
I got a total of 9.
Right. You don't know much about him, but think about it. You think he's not been in post very long. Which might explain why you know so little about him.
Right.
He's of a fair age, not as old as you. Not aware of any particular specialist job.
Alright.
I don't know who's causing that feedback.
Do I have any idea what links he may have on this chain?
Not with that roll, you don't. He doesn't. No.
Right.
I'm getting terrible feedback.
Okay,
Is anyone else getting that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for some reason Anthony's mic just does that. Anthony, can you just mute yourself when you're not talking? Or something like that.
Fix those things and give me a headache.
Okay. Right. Okay. What are you looking to do next? Okay, guys. What's your plan? Hello.
Sorry, there's a phone going on in the background of me, so I'm just muting myself.
What is our next step? Okay, so we now know at least why one side wants to fight. That's fine. And Anthony, which maester were you checking up on?
It was the maester of House Dover.
Oh, they said their maester, didn't they?
No, I wanted to know. Basically, I was operating on the theory of whether or not House Dover's maester might be intercepting the mail and basically presenting it in a manner liable to cause aggression.
This would get your lead stripped from you and have you expelled from the Citadel.
What?
I'm doing an old man voice. That would have your links stripped from you and have you expelled from the Citadel.
Not necessarily. You can present the letter and then just advise your lord in certain ways.
Oh, that you can do. But if you were purposely withholding his mail...
Oh, you wouldn't withhold it, but you'd be like, my lord, here's a letter from House so-and-so. And then a few later on, when you're asked for advice or counsel on the matter, you'd be like, they've seemed very aggressive of late, my lord. Blah 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 blah. Aggression. Blah blah blah. Stabby. Blah blah blah. War.
No, I wouldn't trust what they're saying because blah blah blah.
Pretty much. But I don't know whether or not he's any sort of specialist in warfare or trickery or anything of that sort. So
Do You get links in trickery?
Well, you get tricks. You can get links in things like diplomacy, and
okay.
I would argue that basically anything diplomacy related is basically trickery by a nicer name.
I mean, I'm just gonna say this out loud. Amongst friends, there's no way we can just bump the guy off, right? Like,
No. Unfortunately, no.
Am I assuming you're having a family council somewhere to discuss this?
I'm
Yes.
assuming as much. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
in that, you can always just come up to my tower.
No, we're going to have the minister wheeled down to the pavilion because we're going to be staying here for the evening.
Right.
Rylan is out of his armor and he's kind of sitting. He's sitting in a high back chair at a long table. You can tell that he's probably, himself and Desmond have probably just finished having dinner. But he'll contemplate, he'll say, realistically, I don't know Lord Dalva, but if even a third of what I've heard about him is true, the man deserves to be shoved off. The man deserves to be shoved off here, wearing a heavy weight.
You mean Lord Pinchpenny? He's been dead, hasn't he?
His son, the Vulture.
Ah, right. As I understand it, he is rather like Pinchpenny in some ways.
Alright.
Nathan,
Yes.
can I make some kind of stewardship or actually no, kind of a war roll? Just kind of war at the yin yang. Basically, in the event war were to be declared between these two houses, what is it likely the Lannisters would do? What would make tactical sense for them?
You mean the Tullys?
No, the Lannisters.
Okay. Obviously, you don't have information on the houses' forces themselves. You obviously know that you know the lay of the land at least. The Tully, well, the House Dolva are southwest of you. They're also quite close to the coast, so they're around the bay. So if the Lannisters were going to march support them, they would march into the Dolva lands initially, and then could essentially be marching east across the Riverlands, passing at least, if not across your land, certainly very close to it.
The issue here is that you're facing.
Actually, you have to go on mute.
Please, Nick. Thank you. The issue is, as I see it, we're in the powder keg situation. In the event that this occurs, it's a small local skirmish until such point as House Lannister becomes involved, at which point House Tully will thus become involved, at which point entities like the Starks with marital links to the Tullys, or possibly even the Crown with their marital links to the Lannisters will become involved. So these things can thus snowball.
So what you're saying is we could get on the ground floor on some good old-fashioned war profiteering.
In theory, yes.
That would be bad, right? We're not supposed to do that?
I feel no strongly about this one way or the other.
I'm certain that's not me creating that feedback, by the way.
Well, it is. Every time you mute yourself, it goes away.
It's just this kind of look at people to ignore it.
Have you got your speaker, your mic too close to your speaker?
I'm using my phone headphones.
I don't know. I know it's driving me bonkers. I have sensitive hearing. Crap's driving me crazy.
Take out the headphones and try.
How about now?
That's much better.
That's much better.
Yeah.
There might be some damage to the mic on your headphones.
Yep. Loose wire or something short.
Do the headphones have their own mic built in, like a mini
Yeah.
one? That's probably it then. Okay. So, over to you guys.
No. There is a way, at least I think. Yes, there is a way of this being settled not amicably, but in a way that House Dolda cannot refute. If an open accusation is made against them in an open court, say House Tully's court, and then the aggrieved party demands trial by combat in the eyes of the Seven. If House Dolda's champion is defeated, then they are guilty of the crimes they have been leveled with.
That's what I was saying to begin with. Just have them sort this out trial by combat. Let both sides accept the judgment one way or the other, and just call it a fucking day.
Well, I have no doubt that there will be sword battle, and House Dolda will attempt to call their allies, and that will be put to the eyes of the crown. The judgment has already been given. So, House Lannister couldn't mobilize, or else they'd be breaking the king's law.
That's what I'm saying. It's not okay. It's not nice. Not really clean, and it doesn't really solve anything. But a trial by combat would be the way to just long-term stop things.
No, it would be the way to stop it for a generation.
That's true. Okay. How long do you consider long-term? Because 20 years is pretty long by my standards.
To me, long term is 100 to 200 years.
Yeah, you're not going to kill a grudge. Not as long as one side. Then, okay. The only way you'll kill a grudge is if you kill off everybody who cares about it. And that's out of the question.
Or give them reason to stop caring about it.
They won't. I don't know if you noticed this, but we're not very high level lords. The only thing we do for entertainment is hate each other.
I do have an idea.
Is it a cunning plan?
Well, it's a way for us to tip the scales a little. He will draw out a piece of paper. On said piece of paper, there is a drawing of an arrow that has no fletching. 3 pieces of shaped metal that look very similar to fletching. A spiral arrowhead on the arrow. And a length of thin wire with a small lead weight attached to the end of it, wrapped around the arrowhead, around the arrow shaft.
What on earth is that?
I call it my arrow killer.
What does it do?
Kills arrows, apparently.
When you fire it, it spins this weight. He points to the weight. Will pull the wire taut. That will spin the arrow. Spinning things tend to be more stable. If you've ever played with a little child's toy, you should know that. As a result, it'll be more stable in flight and will fly further. And any arrows it hits, or indeed any person it hits, well, hold on.
Nathan, you said that we had a representative of House Evil Vulture Man.
Yes. His firstborn son is Sir Walton is in attendance. At the very least, possibly some others.
There is another option. Is Sir Walton going to joust?
No, but was there a melee as well?
Yes.
He's not a jouster, but he's up for taking part in the melee.
Okay. There is the other option, Uncle. You could kill him in the melee.
If you were going to suggest me do it in the joust, I was going to suggest you. But yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, I was going to say I can kill him in the joust.
Hey, nephew, we can both kill him in the melee.
Oh, actually, no, beg pardon. No, actually, no. Yeah, he's taking part in both.
Okay. Well, we can both kill him.
Yeah, well, you'll kill him halfway, and I'll finish the job.
Um, how many? Actually, before we plot this man's death, we should probably meet him, I suppose.
I find that just adds complications.
Of us not brutally murdering him.
I mean, I'm just saying, you know, if my lord happens to tell me to have to murder a guy, I mean, who am I to complain?
Okay, I'm going to say that a bunch of knights who attend the tournament, they've essentially taken over the inn in the port town to firstly to drink together and also to actually sort of sleep indoors. So it would seem reasonable if you want to find him, that's where he'd be.
I mean, I'll point out we could just kill him in the dark then. Then there's no chance we have to end up paying him, which would be awkward.
Let me think. No, yeah, we will go to we will go to we will go to the tavern and we'll see what we can see there, I think.
Okay. Right. Make my way over to the. So it's late evening of the first day of the tournament. You make your way over to the port. So a lot of the residents, like the fishermen, they've rented out their houses for a couple of days to visit people with money because it's an easy way for them to make a lot of money. The inn's been taken over. It's crowded with. Shall we say a dozen knights plus squires? Not, but you get the sense that there's a good, jolly tavern atmosphere. People are happy. It's been a good first day. There's the usual camaraderie that you get among knights of tournaments like this. Okay. Do any of you know what Sir Walter looks like?
We were just going to find him based on the heraldry, I would assume.
Okay. You can certainly find. Yeah, you look around. Do you know the colours of House Dover?
Maester, come on, you can do it.
That's it. We gotta kill everyone in this fucking tavern.
She the murder boner, Jesus.
Okay.
No, I just happen to be a hammer and everything looks like a nail.
Okay. Well, obviously, like not everyone is actually holding their shields and a blatantly obvious way, but you ask a couple of people around, and you can identify Sir Walton. So this is the eldest son of Lord Dover. Looks like that. What's most striking is almost a bit like how Lord Ryland stood out earlier. You walk in, there's this tavern of, largely brown, black, dark-haired people, knights of different ages and backgrounds. Sir Walton is he's tall as knights go. He's a good 6-footer. Probably a bit more than 6 foot. And he's got that hair he's got, that's a shockingly golden hue of hair.
Fucking Lannisters.
Okay, but he's happily having a drink. Actually, just noticed you when you paint your nose in, and obviously Lord Ryder stands out. So Rises to his feet. A toast for our hosts. Cheer.
Shit, we're made.
Lord Ryland will raise a hand to kind of quiet the men down, and he'll say, "Thank you, gentlemen, and I hope that you'll be able to fight tomorrow, considering how excellent the Shattered Moon Tavern's ale is. I just made up its name, but by God, it's called the Shattered Moon." But he will walk. He'll walk to the crowd. He will be genial. He will exchange smiles and nods with people, and shake hands, whatever else have you, until he gets to this gentleman, and he'll say, "Sir Dolva, yes?
Sir Walton.
Pleasure to meet you, Sir Knight." He'll extend his hand.
Indeed, Sir Knight. You're even a man as young as myself has heard of your reputation.
I am pleased. No, I shall hope that you have heard nothing but the positive elements thereof.
As there's few men who could boast a squireship as famous as yours.
And what about you, sir? Who did you squire under to earn your spurs?
Oh, I squired for my uncle Sir Horace, though I was knighted by Lord Fatiz.
I see. Ryland will take a seat. Allow me to introduce my uncle, Sir Desmond Grimm. Or Sir Desmond, I keep forgetting you're not called Desmond Grimm in this. Sir Desmond, we are called
Yeah,
Grimms.
Yes, we
Desmond
are.
Grimm. I keep forgetting our own names. Continue.
And I'm the alcoholic.
Allow me to introduce my uncle, Sir Desmond Grimm.
Okay, Desmond, do you want to do a knowledge type roll?
Oh no. No. That makes one of us. Knowledge what? Just
I know.
knowledge?
Yeah, just like
Okay.
Education is always a good one to fall back on.
yeah.
I don't have that.
I was wondering potentially status. It's a bit of a weird one. The system. But yeah.
Okay, so I'm guessing for either one it would be a 3. So is it just a 3d6?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, 36.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, he wasn't shitting us. He did, in fact, roll 5 or 4 ones. That's
Wow.
impressive.
Come on, 18. And I did equal to Anthony's roll with 3.
Okay.
You beat Anthony's roll, actually.
Okay. There's a small bit of text I added to the bottom of your document you might want to read.
Oh. Damn it. Damn you, literacy.
Okay. But moving on. Okay.
Get my document up. Give me a second. Yeah. So out of character, are we gonna murder this guy? Like, what are we doing?
We're talking to him for now.
Talk no like talk. Talk like smash.
I'm just waiting in case Caleb has to suddenly drag me backwards or something.
Yeah, I'm getting you that right now. I mean, if you're good, don't totally.
I'll also add on that role that you've heard this guy's not just a knight; he's an anointed knight.
Okay. Oh, bloody.
So are both of us.
Yeah.
At least I am.
Yeah. I just don't care. Said Lottie don't. Come on.
So what brings you? No, sorry. No, let me think about this. So I see all is well in your lands. Must be quite a shock coming back to our Westerosi climate.
No, not so much. And prior to this, when I heard the unfortunate news of my father's passing, I was in Lease. Lease is pleasantly warm, however, it also does suffer from frequent rain. So there's a toss-up, I suppose. But no, I have adapted quite well. Thank you.
Oh wait, is it on my document or on the?
Yours.
Oh, okay, it's all popping in. I get that now. At first, I was like, I'm not seeing anything else. I don't know what you're talking about. Come on, roll.
Okay.
I mean, I can't tell you guys right now anyway without being like this. So you can continue without me.
Okay, cool. I was saying like it's something that like he's not going to suddenly stab me through the throat or something.
This dear child is why you will never have the Iron Throne.
Yet. Anyway, but he will nod and he'll say, "And your father as well, I hope."
Oh, yeah, very well. Yes.
Good. I'm pleased to hear it. He'll smile very kind of, warmly. If there's anything warm about Sir Ryland, he can be. He's quite cold and standoffish generally. But he will say, I was sad to hear that he could not attend, but then again, I suppose that a man of his age sometimes travel can be more of a nuisance than it's worth."
True, and he's never been one for tournaments.
No.
No, he was not a fighting man in his youth.
I see. And yet his son is an interesting departure from the old to the new.
True. Well, one of his sons is at least.
Ah, do you have brothers then?
Oh, well, yes. There's my younger brother. His name I can't find right now, and little Helen.
Oh, lovely. As I said, my own brother is currently seeing to other important matters, though. It is always interesting when one must consider one's family. But yes. So how do you?
Oh yeah, young Horace, my turned 17 recently. He takes more after our father.
Well, if you're looking for anybody to squire, I'm sure one of us wouldn't turn down that. Kind of turn my back and kind of give a look to my nephew, being like, I don't know what else to say. Well, big shit. But because I read the document now, I go, you had a run-in with the Ironborn not that long ago, huh?
Oh, that was what 6 years ago now. I was a lad at the time.
A ghastly business, the whole thing. I myself, and he motions to his leg. I myself fought during the Greyjoy Rebellion, and well, I gave as good as I got, but
yeah, I heard about it. Now you mentioned it. Yes. Wow, it seems both our families to be marked by a history of troubles with the Ironborn.
I mean, if it were between between you and me, I just wish that there weren't some islands the nearby Westeros.
Mm. But I fear there will always be pirates. There will always be bandits and raiders, but who do not have
I
a
don't need-
sword in hand.
Yeah, but we don't need to have sponsored pirates. Raiders told, "Oh, that's fine. It's because your backwards religion is okay with it, so we can't be mad at you."
Oh, quite. If only the faith had succeeded in converting the Ironborn, it would have put an end to all this.
Yeah, agreed. You know what? And I'll buy him a drink. Like
I'll happily accept. He'll buy you a drink after.
the Evan. Now I don't want to kill him. I'll feel bad about it. I blame you.
Rylan will contemplate for a few moments before he will say, I was led to understand that you were having some unpleasant words with House. What was the name of the other house? It was House Dulva and House
Tullison.
I was led to understand that you are unfortunately at the moment exchanging some harsh words with House Tullison.
Yes, that's correct. My father tends to handle those affairs.
Rather a bad business when two old and esteemed houses lock horns like that.
It is, but I'm a dutiful knight. If there's my role to bear arms, if that is the course we take,
if you say so.
I have no personal conflict with the Tullisons.
As I said, he will, he'll sit there for a few moments, kind of letting his feet rock on the kind of the tall stool that he's sitting on.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think there's always been there is some old history, but nothing anyone particularly strongly cared about. I don't quite understand why things are become inflamed.
No. House Dulva, House Tullison claimed that representatives of House Dulva are arming their hill tribes in order to launch raids against them.
Well, that's your perception roll. That's why would we do that?
Sorry, I'm just going to make my roll. That is a total of 10.
Okay, well, you can react. You can fine. Okay, nothing to say on that. And why supposedly would we want to arm tribes? My father's not. I mean, metal weapons have value. My father's not known for squander things of value.
Did I get anything with the roll, or did he? Did I not? No. Okay. He will shrug very nonchalantly, and he will say,
Do you want me to take this to my father?
He will contemplate for a moment, kind of as it's sitting there, and he'll say,
Or perhaps, do you want to return home with me when this is said and done and speak with him yourself?
I would be delighted to be the guest of House Dulva when this little soiree is said and done, if you are indeed extending me said offer.
Oh, of course, you're always welcome. If you have any matters of trade, I'm sure my father would be particularly happy to receive you.
Indeed, I was led to understand that he is rather the shrewd financial mind.
And we have very large storehouses. So if there's goods you need, be it iron or salt fish or copper or goodness knows what else, you'll see on that note actually, you'll notice his colours are black and copper. He literally has copper as his household colour.
Very good. In that case, Sir Knight, I shall leave you to your libations. Uncle, are you going to stay and have a few more drinks this evening?
No, probably not. I just wanted to share a drink with a fellow man at arms, and yeah, I'll head back with you now.
Very good. We shall wish you luck. We shall wish you luck in the tournament tomorrow, soon.
Indeed, on the morrow, sir.
With that, what was it? Yeah, with that, Ryland will stand and depart.
Okay. We've lost Anthony, but okay. Caleb, do you want to do anything else?
No, I'm heading back.
Okay. Do you want to have talk with yourselves for a bit?
Yeah, be like, so are we doing him in or no?
No.
I don't necessarily want to. I just want to know where I stand on things because I don't really care for murder, and well, gotta psych myself into it.
No, I'm not. He should live. As a matter of fact, that young man might be the hope of his house, if his father is indeed the man that I think he may be.
Damn it. Again, Facebook updates. Yeah. Okay, well. Do you see an easy strategy out of this?
I don't think in this particular kind of situation there's ever really an easy way out, unfortunately.
I mean, one that doesn't involve murder or arson.
Then, no, I don't think so. Needless to say, we will see what happens. If one side or another makes a foolish move while they're here, that may ease complications. However, I do not know if that would be the case. We shall have to see how.
I mean, if one of them does something foolish here, wouldn't that actually kind of help our cause insofar as whoever fucks up means that they kind of lose the moral support of whoever it is that would be backing them?
Yes.
I mean, let's hope it's the side that's being backed by the Lannisters.
In my opinion, on Lord Tywin Lannister and his ilk are not exactly private. But yes.
Well, yeah, not just that. I mean, I would prefer this to be a Riverlands only situation. So if he doesn't get involved, I'm all the merrier. I personally prefer if just these two houses would beat the shit out of each other and leave the rest of us alone.
There's another casual shrug.
I'm just saying. I know it's callous, but I mean, I just don't care. People can have their squabbles. It's fucking... It's drawing other people into that makes me angry.
I'm inclined to agree. The reason that Lord Edmure decided to drag us into the situation is quite simply because of how Tully acts. Then they could be seen as heavy-handed, and ultimately that would just destabilize their situation worse than it already is. Yes. Lord Hester is a good man, however, his son is evidently weak. He needs to cure himself.
Yes, he does. You should drop Edmure into like the darkest part of the forest with nothing but a loincloth and a knife and tell him to make his way home.
Then he would die.
Oh no. Whatever the kingdoms would do, no. He also might not.
He does seem like the kind of man who wouldn't even be able to shoot his own father's funeral barge.
Yes. It seems that seems oddly specific of an analogy, but somehow, nephew, I think it accurate. Unlike him. Yes, I would say most. Like I said, I just. In fairness, he might not die. I think that honestly, I think that would do him a good. Didn't he get squired? Like I stopped him mid step. Like who he fucking squired?
I don't know. Appointment.
Someone useless. I know that much.
Mhm. Rylan, as they arrive back at the tent, he sits down in his high chair again, and he kind of warms his hands next to a brazier of fiery coals before he'll say, "As I said, we'll see what happens tomorrow. We may have more answers depending on what occurs, so that we can move forward."
Okay. So time passes. Dot dot dot. Don't know about Anthony. Is he coming back or not?
I don't know.
I think he died. No, brother, no.
Okay. Are you planning to just let tournament unfold, or or something else?
Mm.
Are you planning to take part in the joust and the grand melee, for that matter?
Well, that would be the question, nephew. Are we murdering that guy?
We're not murdering him, but we might take part.
I will. No, well, I'll say is because I am an older soldier and I really don't feel like dying. I'll officiate the melee.
Very good. Ryan, to answer your question, Nathan, Rylan will probably actually ride in the joust, yes.
Okay. Fine. Okay. The joust happens. There's all the appropriate pomp and ceremony. The two characters you've met, among others, do take part. Sir Cleos Frey.
Him I might kill.
He takes part, but he goes out in the first round of the joust against random
First round of the joust. That's all.
guy from the Tullys.
Yeah, I will say, dear nephew, if you win, more correctly, when you win, you should probably donate the purse to something.
Very well.
Okay. I will just see how good these characters actually are. Okay, I don't know if is there a quick joust resolution mechanic or not in the book. No,
You can probably just decide it on a single roll if you really want to get down to it.
yeah, well, it's not massively important to the story, is it? So
I think what might be a good idea is just assume that we get to the finals and then we'll roll out the finals as just a joust, because it's literally just a roll to see who roll hit. Do you get knocked off your horse or not? It's pretty straightforward rules.
yeah, right. Not taunts. Jousts. Okay, it's not a huge joust because it's a local tournament, and some of the headlights they're not really primarily jousters. So obviously, Ryan, your jousting skill is what is it? Quite good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a base roll of 7, keeping 5, which is really stupidly good.
Yeah. So you're obviously going to become very high placed. So it's under fighting. Okay, Lord Dunstan takes part, but he does go out in the. Actually, he goes up fairly early. You'll get the fake sense if you're watching him. I mean, he's physically competent, but he doesn't look very skilled with a lance.
Okay.
So he won't make it through very. He'll probably might win the first round. He doesn't get very far. The Sir Walton Dolver. He's doing somewhat better. Okay, tell you what. Let's say you're joust off against him in the. Just do a quick random roll. I'm assuming are you just rigging? Are you going to rig the allocation at all?
No.
No, fine. Okay, I'll do a quick roll. So,
Hey, don't get off my keyboard.
okay. The way the place is full, you happen to be jousted against Sir Walter in the semi-final.
Okay.
Because that's just how it fell. And yeah, you've certainly seen he's somewhat competent. Well, no more than that. He's certainly generally competent, at least from what we've seen so far. Okay, so what do we actually roll for this?
Okay, so hang on, let me just get up the rules section.
Adjusting results. The result it's somewhat different from normal combat. You employ lance. Yeah, when tilting lances, you test your fighting and compare the results of your fighting to your opponent's passive animal handling result. Ride applies. Okay, so essentially, yeah. And how many degrees of success you get above their passive animal handling. What's the passive? What is this passive? That means times 4 or something on the skill. And 3 passive with right. Oh, okay, yeah. It's so passive is just I think it's times 4, and then if you have the ride skill, it adds +1. So he has an animal handling of 3, so his passive defense is 12. So you do a jousting roll, and
how do you work out what your passive animal handling is? Sorry.
You take your animal handling skill, you multiply that by 4, and if you have the ride skill, you add +1 for each dot of ride.
Okay, so let me just work out ride just so I can get it just in case it's needed. So that's that times that plus 2. So Ryland's would be 18.
Okay.
He's a tournament knight. He's good.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. Do lances come off spears, or do they? Is it
lances come off spears? Apparently, yeah.
That's fine. Okay.
So
okay. I think you do a joust roll. He does a joust roll. So fighting with spears against the passive. You can roll first.
So that's 10. That wasn't actually a good roll. So that's 10 plus 4 is 14, 16, 17, 18.
You're dropping 2, aren't you, off that? So it's
so it's 18 if you drop the 2 ones because there are 3 ones.
So it's 17.
Oh, I can do math.
Yeah. Minus is 12. Is a difference of 5. 5 is obviously a success, but is it 1 or 2 degrees of success?
I think 5 degrees to it.
5 is. It's 5. 5 is on the nose for 2 degrees of success.
Okay, cool.
So, because I have the GM screen, right? Okay, which is. I've lost the page number for the tournaments. Is it usefully on the GM screen? Did they put the tournament screen on here? No, that'd be too easy. This is, as I said, if I knew you were organising a tournament, I would have prepared this, but I didn't.
Players were players. Don't worry about it. It's cool.
And then suddenly, everyone at the tournament got
being weird.
Just coming up with crap.
Okay. Why is it not here? Just tournaments. Two degrees. Lance strikes opponent, and opponent must succeed a formidable difficulty 12 animal handling test or be unhorsed. I will do his animal handling test. He does not make that, so he is unhorsed. Now, I'm assuming you both hit each other. So there's no speed on this. So, okay, so he's joust. Meanwhile, he's joust back at you. He's rolling that many. He does get 21, which is a defense of, was it
18?
18. So that's only 3. So he's got 1 degree of success. Lance shatters on opponent's shield. You must pass a challenging animal handling or be unhorsed. So do you need to beat a difficulty 9 animal handling?
Oh boy. Do it.
Shut up. Does that also take into account ride, or does it not?
Yes.
Ooh.
Do it, my lord. Don't
Yes,
let us
yes.
down. You were this pompous turkey.
Yes.
Okay. I get a total of 17 on the check.
Yes.
You unhorse him, and his lance shatters on your shield solidly, but you do stay in the saddle.
Yes.
Words flies everywhere. Okay. Okay, I'm happy to say you go on with the tournament on that. But obviously, yeah, he did. That was definitely you. I mean, you definitely saw his. That was some considerable skill. That was definitely a very good, solid hit he got on you.
Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. Ryland acknowledges skill, so he will be impressed.
See not for steed. Purchase defeated. Defeat is usually.
Good.
Okay. There's no particular dishonorable instance during the jousting. There's no like, oh, my lance slipped and hit his horse type instance that occur. Okay, right. Congratulations, Lord Ryland wins the joust. End of day 2 of the tournament.
Hooray!
Okay. Anything else, or are we moving on to day 3 for the grand melee?
I think we'll just move on to day 3 for the grand melee.
Okay. And who's taking part in this?
None of us are actually taking part. Kayla is Desmond is officiating it and being basically the referee for it.
Okay.
I am known as an honorable man, and I'm known as a good combatant. So,
how are you handling the teams? As in, are you doing random draw, or are you allocating teams? Are you?
Oh no! This was also part of my plan. Let's have a random draw, and I use humongous air quotes, where it happens to be that it'll be two-man teams, and we'll put the 2 people that hate each other on the same team. This will amuse me.
Okay.
Does my lord have an opposition to this concept?
No.
Maybe it'll make them like each other better, or they'll kill each other. Either way.
Okay. Okay, you announced about melee. Sir Walton withdraws from the melee.
Ah.
The melee happens. No one dies, but several people get injured because that's the way of these things.
Before it kicks off,
Yep.
but I talk to him.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, you can certainly find him.
Yeah, I'll try and find him, and I'll say, why are you withdrawing?
Given the circumstances, I don't think it would be appropriate for me to take part.
I mean, I firmly disagree, sir. I was hoping to see you out on, or hoping to see your work on the battlefield, and I'm playing the oblivious card, so.
Come on, given the current tension between my house and Texas, I wouldn't want a situation where happenstance on the battlefield results in spurious rumours that besmirches either man's honour.
I mean, I guess I would personally say that would be the perfect opportunity to show your honor and value, your valor on the battlefield. But I mean, that's up to you. I'm really hoping I don't have to make a social rule because my social rules are stupid.
You could.
I have to threaten is the problem.
Actively want to persuade him. You can make a social roll. He's not currently convinced, but you can make a roll if you really want to.
I do.
Fine.
But because I am furious, I have to make an intimidation check.
Okay.
Nothing makes me giggle more than that, but I also hate it. What would that be? That's not deception, is it, or is it persuasion?
Yeah, persuasion. Well, technically,
yeah.
Social intrigue mechanic, which are a whole bunch of stats and derived stats.
Yeah.
So.
Because I know there's deception, cunning, persuasion status. All right, so that's why I'm like, I don't know which one. I don't remember which one keys off of.
I mean, it was like just looks appropriate. We'll move on.
I assume persuasion because I'm not deceiving him.
Sure. Yeah, persuasion is fine.
All right. That's not all right.
It's persuasion, and you could use a speciality, which of your choice, if you're doing it in that way.
I don't have a specialty, so.
Fine, go on then. Just do a simple persuasion roll.
All right. Okay.
On the upside, you obviously a bit last night, which does help. Well,
that would be a 2d6.
Go on then.
I got a 4.
4, right. As I said, I think it for the best that I don't take part. As I said, it would be too easy for happenstance to besmirch someone's honor, apparent honor.
I understand, and I. Well, okay, so it would have to be that I was threatening. So I would be like, what would people say if they knew you dropped out because you didn't want to fight beside another good knight on the battlefield?
Wow.
Again, it doesn't work. I understand, but I have to go role play.
Men can say what they want, but I'd rather they say that than say what other things that may occur.
That's true, and you know what? I have nothing but glowing recommendation for you in this regard, and I also respect your willingness to go that far. You're rather not wanting to be put in a bad situation. I respect that.
Okay, fine. Okay, right. The grand melee happens. I don't think there's anyone. Okay, yeah, it happens. People cheer. There's a resolution. We move on. I'm not sure it's particularly upon who wins. So Kleos doesn't do very well. I mean, I think probably some of your household knights are probably taking part, I imagine, and they a reasonable showing.
I definitely encourage them, if anything.
Oh yeah, well certainly I would imagine. Yeah, the majority. You got 20 of them. The majority of them are probably taking part. Okay, moving on. What's your next step after this day?
Okay. Well, we got the skinny on the situation one way or the other, right? So that was kind of the objective, and then we also got to talk to each of them separately, which is also good.
I think the next step is probably a good point to kind of call the session, because we probably need the whole crew for this, is accepting the offer and going to meet the leader, the head of House Dolva at his castle, basically.
Okay, if you want to call it a day, we can. As obviously, yeah, visit the House Dolva was what I'd prepared for this session, so yes. Right, what we can just do then, I'll just check the host toilet mechanic, because the toilet's finished. Okay. But you did do the roll to host, didn't you?
Yep, I rolled a 16.
Okay. Your house. Okay. Right. Okay, so the tournament, it costs 2 wealth to sponsor and 2 wealth as the prize. Each additional contest beyond the joust, Bijou Grand Melee, that's +1 as an extra wealth. I'll give you 1 wealth back because you won the prize for the joust. That's cost 4 wealth. You do gain as a house 1d6 influence, because obviously it's a good PR move hosting tournaments and it gets your name out there. So if you want to do the very important big roll to see how much influence you gain off the tournament.
1 second.
That's gonna be nice.
Four.
Okay, so I've just got the house sheet open. And it's been a bit slow.
Wait, how much influence did we gain?
4.
4? 4 is a good number.
2.
My cat has decided to snuggle up on me, and he's being adorable. This makes me happy.
So wealth goes down by 4, but influence goes up by 4. Do you want? Okay. Great. Okay. Well, if you're happy, we'll leave it there. As you say, it would be nice to have slightly more players. So the next step is you're going to go visit House Dolva in the company of Sir Walton and anyone else in the house who attended, and continue your investigations. Thank you, pleasant players. Thank you, watchers watching. This has been the first part of episode 2 of the Saga of House Grimm.